Hello everyone, today we're going to talk about subtracting mixed numbers. In our previous lesson we added mixed numbers with and without regrouping, and today we are going to do the same except subtracting with and without regrouping. So let's go ahead and quickly review. Whenever we add or subtract mixed numbers, we always are going to start with the fraction piece, okay, not the whole number. So just a quick review here. Can you go ahead and pause the video and solve 1 4/5 plus 7 2/5. All right, so let's go ahead and solve. We had two options. If you remember from yesterday, you could just start with your fraction pieces here and regroup if necessary. So if I had 4/5 plus 2/5, that would be 6/5. And if you need to, we'll draw a quick model. Fifths are a circle with a star in it. That one is much better. Okay. 4/5, so 1, 2, 3, 4, plus my 2/5, so 1, 2. Here you can see 6/5 is 1 whole, so I'm going to regroup that 1 whole, and 1/5. So 1/5 goes down here. Now I just add my whole numbers. 7 plus 1 plus 1 is 9. So this way I got 9 and 1/5. If I wanted to do the other strategy where we convert these into improper fractions and then back into mixed numbers, then 5 times 1 is 5, plus 4 is 9. Carry over my 5. 5 times 7 is 35, plus 2 is 37. Carry over my 5. And when I add these together, I'm going to get 46 fifths. Okay. Next step to convert this back is to divide. So 46 divided by 5. Okay. 5 can go into 46 9 times. It'll be 45, so that means I'll have a remainder of 1. And then if you haven't caught this already, kind of an easier way of converting it is just, you're pretty much writing the number almost exactly the same way, except you don't have the R for the remainder, and then you're just carrying over the denominator. So again, you would get 9 1/5. All right, so let's go ahead now and talk about subtracting mixed numbers. Here's our word problem. Alex had 3 4/6 quesadillas. His family ate 2 3/6 of the quesadillas. How many quesadillas are left? I know a lot of times our fraction problems have to do with food, but at least with this remote learning, you can pause and grab a snack if you're hungry. So let's go ahead and circle our numbers. We've got 3 4/6. 2 3/6. Now this is supposed to be a whole mixed number, so I've written it down here. It just got separated up here. Our question is, how many quesadillas are left? And some keywords, okay, 8. Okay, so obviously if they ate some, they're gone, all right? And we want to know how much is left over. So we're looking for the difference between how much they started with and how much is left. And I have my models here. So the models for subtraction are going to represent your larger number, or when they're stacked like this, the number on top. So 3 4/6, I have 3 wholes and 4/6 in the last one. Now I'm going to subtract 2 3/6. Now this one here is fairly simple because I can take 3 away from 4. Okay, I can very easily come over here and cross out 3/6 from my 4/6, and I see that I have 1/6 remaining. And then I just subtract my whole numbers. So then I take away 2 wholes from the 3, and then I see that I have 1 remaining. So my answer here would be 1 1/6. Sometimes your subtraction problems are being nice and simple like this, with no regrouping. However, sometimes you will have to regroup. So here I've got 5 1/8 minus 3 3/8. Now there are a couple different ways that you can do this. You can use the strategy from before with addition, where you can convert these into improper fractions, or you can regroup. And the way we regroup fractions is a little different from the way that we regroup whole numbers. So here I have 1/8 minus 3/8. I can't take 3 away from 1. So I'm going to have to regroup for my whole number. So I'm going to borrow 1 whole. So my 5 becomes a 4. And now I'm not going to add 10 to this. I'm going to add 1 whole to this. So you need to ask yourself, okay, if my denominator stay the same, what does my numerator need to be in order to equal 1 whole? Okay, and so we know this from before that 1 whole means the number on the top and the bottom are the same. So 8/8 is 1 whole. So I took 1 away from the 5 and it became 8/8. This is the regrouping. When I add that to my 1/8, I get 9/8. And now I can subtract 3/8 from 9/8. Okay, 9 minus 3 is 6. Carry over my 8. You notice up here it became an improper fraction, but when I subtracted, it's back to a regular fraction. And so then I just subtract 4 minus 3 is 1. So 1 and 6/8. So this is the regrouping strategy. But like I said, you can do the other one where we convert these into improper fractions if you so choose. So 8 times 5 is 40 plus 1 is 41. Carry over my 8. 8 times 3 is 24 plus 3 is 27. And if you have to do a little bit of scratch work on the side, don't try to do things in your head and end up making a silly mistake. You know, do your scratch work, it's fine. All right, so if I regroup here, 41 minus 27, 11 minus 7 is 4, and 3 minus 2 is 1. So I ended up with 14/8. Okay. And now, again, I have to convert this, so I would do 14 divided by 8. And I know it seems strange, but 8 can only go into 14 one time. Since 8 times 2 is 16, that's too much. So it's going to go in one time, and 14 minus 8 means I'm going to have a remainder of 6. So, again, I do get the same answer, okay, of 1 and 6/8. So you have two choices. You can regroup, and you can add 1 whole to your fraction piece to kind of bulk it up so you can subtract, or you can convert them both into improper fractions. And then sometimes you may be asked to subtract from a whole number, and you're probably thinking, what on earth am I going to do? I don't have a fraction piece here. Well, you can make a fraction. Again, you can regroup. So if I'm going to regroup, I'm going to take 1 whole away from my 6. It becomes a 5. And now you're going to have to look at the fraction on the bottom to figure out what your fraction would be up here. So we want the same denominator. Okay, so we have 4. So what would a whole fraction be if I had 4 in my denominator? Okay, it would be 4 up here as well. So now I regrouped 1 whole from here into a whole fraction. And now I can subtract. So 4/4 minus 3/4 is 1/4. And just subtracting your whole numbers, 5 minus 2 is 3. So I get from 6, a whole number here, I can subtract 2 3/4 and get 3 1/4. But what about if you like to do the other strategy? What if you like to convert into improper fractions? What are you going to do there? Well, I'm going to go ahead and start with this one because it's already set up. So 4 times 2 is 8, plus 3 is 11. So 11/4. All right, now what am I going to do with this 6? Okay, well, you have a whole number, okay, but you can substitute a fraction with a 0, right? Because we don't have any extra pieces. And remember, our denominator is going to be the same. And so if we use that same strategy we've been using this whole time, it will work out just fine. So if we do 4 times 6, we get 24, and we don't add anything because there's no extra pieces. So it would be 24 over 4, okay? So in other words, you're really just going to multiply the denominator by the whole number to figure out what your fraction would be. So 24 fourths minus 11 fourths leaves us with 13. Oops. And when we divide, all right, 4 can go into 13 3 times, okay? 3 times 4 is 12, so 13 minus 12 will leave us with a remainder of 1, and converting that into a mixed number gives us 3 1/4. So these are your options. You can regroup or you can convert. All right, let's go ahead and practice. I want you to go ahead and pause the video and choosing whichever strategy you prefer. Solve 4 2/8 minus 1 5/8. Okay, let's see what we got. So first I'll solve this with regrouping. Because 2/8 I can't take away the 5/8. So I'm going to have to come over here and borrow 1 whole. So I'm going to add 1 whole to my 2/8, so my denominator is going to be the same, and my numerator is going to be the same. So this equals 1 whole. So 2/8 plus 8/8 is going to give me 10/8. All right, and now I can subtract the 5/8. Okay, so 10/8 minus 5/8 is 5/8. And 3 minus 1 is 2. So 2 5/8 is what I get with this strategy. I'm going to also go ahead and do the other method where we convert them into improper fractions. So using the original numbers here, 8 times 4 is 32, plus 2 would give me 34/8. And 8 times 1 is 8, plus 5 is 13. All right. When I subtract those, 4 minus 3 is 1, and 3 minus 1 is 2. All right, so 21/8. All right. Now I just got to divide. And 21 can only be divided by 8 twice, okay? Because 8 times 3 is 24, so that's too much. So 8 times 2, though, is 16. And when I subtract 16 from 21, I'm going to be left with a remainder of 5. And when we convert that into a mixed number, it should be no surprise here that we get the same answer of 2 5/8. So there you have it, guys. Your strategies are try to regroup, borrowing 1 whole, and then regrouping it into a whole fraction. Or you can use the same strategy for addition and subtraction if you choose to convert them into improper fractions and then back into mixed numbers. Your assignment for today is to complete IXL lesson Q.14. And I will include another video that you guys can watch if you just want a little bit of extra, just a little bit more on explaining how to subtract mixed numbers. But I hope this helps, and I will see you guys later. Bye.